Okay, people, so we have got the American Society of Magical Negroes. This is from Kobi Libii, who wrote and directed the film. It is produced by Eddie Weisman and Pages, Angel Lopez, Julia Lebedev, and Kobi Libii. It's executive produced by Bryce Garner, Leonid Lebedev, Aren Moverman, Mike Upton, and it is co-produced by Rita Walsh. Michael Abels took care of the music. Doug Emmett is down with the cinematography. Brian Scott Olds edits the piece, while Nicole Abelera and Janana, Janine, oh my days, Janine McCarthy, they took care of casting. Laura Fox is production design. Art direction is Charles Varga, with set decoration handled by Mercedes Huschel. Dercia Cole Washington is costume design. Hair, makeup, all of that jazz. We got Patrice Bankhead, Brian Stephen Banks, Abigail Bradley even, Michelle Chung, Sheila Cyphers Leak, Malik Amadeus Elliott, Andrea Joseph, Caitlin Martini, Latreia Lucky Napoleon, Luca Rodriguez, Aaron Rosenman, Ursula Simpson, and Alexis Stafford. Now our cast. We have Aren, played by Justice Smith. We have got... Actually, I'm going to go... This is probably the easiest way to do this. Okay, yeah. Roger is played by David Allen Greer. We got Lizzie, played by Anne Lee Bogan. Jason, played by Drew Tarver. Masterman, played by Michaela Watkins. Gabbard, played by Aisha Hines. Officer Miller is played by Tim Baltz. Mick, played by Rupert Friend. Nicole Byer is Dee Dee. Brad, played by Eric Lutz. Lacey, played by Mia Ford. We've got Andrea, played by Gillian Vigman. There is Ryan, played by Keys DeVos. The Barber, played by Aaron Coleman. Bo, played by Chase Ryan Gaffrey. James Crampton, played by Mo Irvin. Deshaun, played by Ethan Harris. Lily, played by Nozafi McLean. Antoine, played by Isaiah Theodorus. Big Marcus Derman, played by Gregor Manners. Who else do we have? Claire, played by Bianca Crudo. That's probably our main lot of people. The gist of the film: a young man, Aren, is recruited into a secret society of magical black people who dedicate their lives to a cause of utmost importance, making white people's lives easier. So, man, like, I saw this a while back. I was meant to go to a screening, but man, just sometimes life gets in the way, which was a pain, right? Because I was intrigued, right? I didn't know what this was, but you just see the title and you're like, okay, what is this? Right? Is this about magicians? And I'm talking like the David Blaine magicians, or are we going fantasy? You know what I mean? It's like it could be so many things, but I didn't know it was talking about the magical Negro, right? I didn't know that's what this was. And, you know, we've seen that character in so many films, right? So many films. You got this black character that actually doesn't need to be there. Their sole role is to prop up the white protagonist. And you're just like, wait, what? You know? So a film that is going to be playing with that notion, right? Like really critiquing it. You're like, okay, this could be something, right? This could be something. It really could have. But this, I don't know. Like, you get the sense, and this isn't trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, which I understand those words, right? Because people say that and then they're mad disrespectful. You know what I mean? But what I mean is, it kind of felt like Kobe had this interesting idea, right? Had this real interesting idea that he wanted to play with. And then in the writing, it's like, could this fuck up my chances in Hollywood? Right? If I go too, you know what I mean, deep, if I go too wild with this, am I going to alienate myself? That's the kind of, that's what it kind of felt like, right? So instead of really peeling back the curtain, you know, going full ham up on it, we just get this, like, not even half in, half out, because it's mainly out, right? Like, this does not take the swings it could be taking. It isn't really holding up the magnifying glass. Or would it be the mirror? I'm not quite sure, but you know what I'm saying, right? It doesn't do those things, you know? And you're just like, oh man, this really needs to do those things, right? It really needs to hold that line to really go, yo, this is what's wrong, right? This is what's wrong with the world, people. And, you know, it could be better. Because we have that whole thing of Aren at the beginning, and I think a big issue with the film is that our protagonist is so fucking wet. Right? He's so fucking wet. He's a bit like Cisco in the first few seasons of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. There's just no backbone to him. Right? He's an artist. He's got art, an exhibition, and he's too afraid to talk to anyone, to push his work, just to do anything. Right? We get into this weird scenario of a mugging. Well, not a mugging, but what was homie's name? Till, oh God, I cannot think. Emmett Till, right? That whole story where the white woman accuses him of whistling at her and he gets lynched and killed and she just made it all up, right? We have that kind of scenario, but it's so, like, the reality of what happened is so glaringly there, and the evidence is there as well. All you got to do is be like, boom, boom, boom. But he's so timid. He's so afraid of his own shit. He doesn't even say anything. And you're just like, ugh. And you just dislike the character from jump. And that's not what it's meant to be, right? Because I think inhabiting this world, right? We've all been like, just as a little kid, man, grown people coming up to you, go back to your own fucking country. Like, when I say grown people, I'm talking like 30, 40-year-olds screaming in the face of a little 6-year-old kid. That's the reality growing up, right? That's the shit that I had. And you're not, like, I don't know, for me, it wasn't being scared of every white person, but it was just understanding, yo, if shit goes south, right, no one's got my back, and I'm gonna be the first person that they try and pass this fucking buck to. That's what it was, right? It was like when everyone's supporting the national teams and whatnot, I never felt I got behind it because I've been told to go back to my own fucking country from, jump. So how am I supporting England? And I kind of think that's what Aren should have been. Not this weird, timid shell of a person, but just someone that's just like, man, I don't necessarily feel comfortable, right? Trying to be a chameleon, trying to detract from negative bullshit, right? So you can never relax in public. That's what it should have been. For me, that's what this character should have been, not the one that we see. So then he gets invited to join this society. And they break down what this society is, which is fine, but then really get daring with it. And that's the thing, they just didn't get daring, right? It's like you could be when helping these people, like the cop at the beginning. Like you can have it that, through wordplay, they're really just letting people know you know what I mean, what you think of them. And they're just like, oh, thanks, man. That's so nice of you to say. But you just told them what the fuck this is. Right? It could have been that. Right? It needed to be kind of scathing, but crazy. Like, just think, sorry to bother you. You know? And it's just like, when he answers the phone, and they're like, wait, what was that? He's just like, that's my wife voice. Right? That's the kind of shit that you needed. But unfortunately, that's not what we get. Right? It's not until towards the end that we have Aren, he gives that whole speech on the stage. And you're just like, oh, finally, he's actually saying something. But even in that speech, you're just like, wait, what the fuck is homie talking? That whole, this is the first time that I realized that I'm allowed to be me. I'm allowed to be alive. I'm allowed. And you're just like, yo, you're 27. Motherfuckers have that epiphany a lot sooner than that. Right? A lot sooner than that. And you just think, there's even within that, he's just like, oh, it's not your fault to Jason. And it'd be like, fuck you, Jason. Right? That's what it should be. It'd be like, yo, you're bullshit, man. What are you doing? Like, you want to claim to not be racist, but everything that you do is steeped in this shit. Right? Instead of this kind of half apology, even when he's trying to make this big thing. So it still falls flat. He said, for me anyway, I don't know, right? What other people think. Then you have these weird things, like the guy grabbing the other guy's dick all the time. You're just like, wait, what is that? Like, what are we doing there? You've got the head of the society, but like, in a way, she's using the other people as slaves, kind of thing, right? It all gets a little bit funky, a little bit weird. Like, no, it seems that no one else has had this epiphany that why are we just trying to prop these people up all the time? That's what the weird thing, like, no one seems to be, you know what? Fuck these people, right? Instead of just making them feel comfortable, right? How about we have them understand what this shit is? That you'd think that some of them would have that thought. Maybe not all of them, but some of them at least. So it just becomes weird. It's like no one's got backbone. Like when you think about Martin and Malcolm, right? That whole divide on proactiveness, right? And here, they're not even Martin, right? It's such a step back that you're just like, wait, what are you doing? So, yeah, I don't know. It just becomes this weird thing for me, right? I guess it depends how you navigate the world, right? To how you find this film. You know what I mean? Like, what was it like for you? Because you have this whole claim at the start when Aren's like, my mum's white. I don't have an issue with. And it's just like, yeah, that's all well and good, right? But that doesn't mean you were really accepted, right? How many times have people been told, you know, you're one of the good ones, right? Like, parents can say funky shit. But, again, like we just get this weird middle ground that Kobi has decided to put this film in. And with the Lizzie character, at the beginning, you're like, is Aren her magical Negro? Like, we see it's that for Jason. Is it that for Lizzie? And it's then not until, like, she says a thing that you're okay, right, fine. Now, that might just be me. Other people may have been able to see it, but people, my eyesight is fucked. So, you know what I mean? Like, trying to notice certain things, it's not always the easiest, right? But yeah, you have all of these things, right? And again, when you have her Lizzie situation at work and what her boss says, it's just, it's weird. And we could get some pushback, because even if you don't push back to the boss, there's venting to your peoples, right? And you're just like, fuck. I felt I couldn't say anything, but that's bullshit, right? That's what it should be. But we just don't get that. Now, the end of the film was very weird because they try and throw that thing in like, see, you thought the ring was just some stupid ring, but really, but when you think of what is it, swoosh, whatever the acronym is, it doesn't really make any sense because it's like it would then say she's a wife or a girlfriend, right? And as far as we know, she's not a wife and she's not a girlfriend. So, like, now there's the work wife thing thrown out, but that doesn't really make any sense. It's a society of supportive wives and girlfriends. That's it. So swag. Right? That doesn't make any sense. And that's the weird thing, right? You just like, right, they're trying to make this little joke at the end, but it just, like the rest of this, kind of falls a bit short, kind of falls a little flat. Now, as I said, I think it depends, for black people anyway, how you navigate life, right? Your experience probably affects the way you view the film, right? Because, you may be like Aren, where you're like, yeah, no, I completely get this, But yeah, I think that all depends. I think if you like stuff like The Blackening, I think you probably enjoy this. But it's, when you think of stuff like American, oh my God, my mind has just gone blank. American fiction. That's it. American fiction. Jeffrey Wright. that was more of the scathing narrative that you feel, this needed, So you can look at American fiction, but the American Society of Magical Negroes wants to be that, but it doesn't come close, in my opinion. But it's out, right? You can check it out on all your favorite VODs. So if it sounds like it could be something you enjoy, then boom, people, go check it out. I watch it on Now TV, okay? But yeah, it's out, right? The American Society of Magical Negroes.